So have you ever done the intro yet? Or no, you did the intro, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Like last time, I literally did it.
Why is it Fushi done it? He's never here. A little. I'm gonna use this as the intro. I'm calling you out, Fushi. You're a bitch. I don't even remember what episode this is. Do you? I don't remember. But
Like billionth episode.
hi everyone, welcome, boys and girls, species of all kind, and if alien overlords, if you're watching in the future, please. I hope you did not probe my ass. You can probe Nona's ass. He gives you full permission in the future. Do you give him permission in the future, Nona?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Alien overlords, bro. It would be better than Joe Biden when you think about it.
What? What do you mean by that?
Bro, Joe Biden, bro. The vegetable.
What's this about Bo Jaden?
Bo Jaden.
What's up? What's up? Do you guys want me to introduce you, or do you want me to introduce yourselves?
And I want to introduce you to my man, Joe Mama.
Joe Mama.
Oh, anyways, I'm the host, Boredom. We got Nona over here. I say hi, Nona.
Nope.
We got Fushi over here. Say hello.
Hi.
Are you excited? I've noticed. Are you guys, first off, how about we have Fushi explain himself? Because this fucking recording is coming out pretty late. So I want to hear Fushi's excuse on what's going on.
You do
Family
that, I'll go
decided
back
they
here.
wanted to make plans for the third week of the month. Even though I told them I should be busy, and they're like, no. You live here at home for college, so you gotta do everything for them instead. So
Wait,
I didn't
with
get
them
to
or
have
you live by
it.
yourself?
Huh? No, I don't live by myself. I live at home for college.
Ah, okay. So what were they doing exactly that kept you busy?
We had to remove like 5 years of stuff we had in the backyard, like fencing and concrete pathways, and then put a deck over there and a metal structure. Let me put it in links.
What do you think of
That's what
that?
we made.
What do you think of that, Nona? It's like manual labor. You ever heard of that before?
It was
I
manual
used to
labor,
do
but it
those.
was me and my stepdad spending the entire like week and a half just doing destruction and construction.
Nice.
Sounds like the best bonding experience with someone who's not your father.
Exactly. It's very.
I guess, except not really that fun. And I already cut the shit out of my center of my palm and on my thumb.
Whoa. This is
Oh,
this is an 18 plus Christian stream. Recording, whatever.
I'm not doing emo shit.
Whoa!
Emo.
No, what happened was
So-
that for the top of my thumb, you know how the metal brackets where it's like half of a square, like 2 ends with holes on each end for drilling?
Yeah.
Well, we got the cheap ones because they were about to replace them with new ones with bigger holes, because the holes these ones had are so small that it will strip the screws by putting them in. So what we had to do was, what I had to do was, one hand with pliers holding the bracket piece down. The other hand, I had to use the drill and drill the holes to make them larger. I got about 100 of them done before my hand started to cramp. Lost the grip of the pliers, and the metal brackets spun around and cut the hell out of my top of my thumb, going from my knuckle to my cuticle. Thankfully,
Damn,
not
dude.
all the way through, just at the edge.
That totally does not sound painful at all.
Oh, yeah. And then, like the day before yesterday, I was moving some wood, and a giant splinter went through my palm. It went in and exited through my hand. That's how far it went in, is that it went in enough to go out of my hand.
You're fine.
It's a
Luckily,
little
that was
splinter,
not my
you know?
dominant hand, but still, that sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
What? It's at the hand you can't have fun with anymore. You have to go out. You go a week without it.
I could go a week without it.
You know?
Can you know? Can you know?
No.
Sorry, I just thought that was funny.
Oh,
Okay.
100% of hands they can use.
So, was everyone excited? This Pride Month is coming to a closing end. How did everyone feel about it?
I'm so sad that it's already over. You know, I can't.
You know, I don't
Can't
think too
appreciate
much
all
about
of the rainbow profile pictures on Twitters or like.
I think the great one was
Nothing.
the Opera GX was the best one because they literally did not do the rainbow shit. That was funny.
See, what I see from companies doing that is I feel that they're insincere with it. When they do it is like, oh, hey, we acknowledge you, give us money, and then like the first day of the next month, it's gone.
Yeah, no, for
The
real.
same treatment is with the Autism Awareness Month, only one person gave me acknowledgement from that entire month. Yet, this month happens,
And it wasn't
I
us.
see
Boom, we're
conversations
great.
all day.
Fuck you.
I see conversations about it all day, every day right now this month. I'm like, where was this when I had some time for myself with autism? It's
Was
almost
it-
irritating me.
Wasn't it? Didn't Joe Biden make this month, or wasn't it wasn't it called Juneteenth or whatever the hell? What is that?
Juneteenth, that's been there forever.
Yeah, but what? I
that
forgot
was
what it
before
is.
Biden.
What is it supposed to be? Juneteenth? What is it?
Something about like black people not being slaves anymore or something.
Yeah, there's something about no more slavery. Something about celebrating no more slavery.
Or something
But I could be
like greatest
misremembering.
mistake or like something.
No, I just remembered someone mentioned Biden with it, but I don't know if it's because maybe he was trying to make it into a bigger deal than it actually was.
Well, I mean,
Most
it
of
is
the
a
time.
historically significant point in our
I know
history.
that. Yeah, but the people who use it I don't think actually care about it. They just use it for their own political gain, is what it seems these days.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I see from it.
impossible.
Yeah, June 19th. It's supposed to be when the Emancipation Proclamation was issued in the United States.
Racist.
It's racist that they didn't make that. It's kind of funny to think about. Think about it. They had to literally put a law into effect to say black people were equal. How fucked up is that?
Yeah.
Pretty fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah.
You mean?
What do you mean? What I mean? They literally weren't seen as equal until that law was passed, pretty much.
Well, the thing is that there's still places in the world where nobody has rights except for like the native people there, like in the Middle East. I'm pretty sure slavery still happens there, and it's pretty fucked up.
Whoa,
It's
whoa,
like-
whoa. You forget, Americans don't care about that unless it happens in America.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Nona gets he's
But,
laughing. That's why he's laughing.
It's like there's other fucked up shit, but they always like to point at our past. It's like we were like the first ones to stop it. Though. We're the first ones to say, "Hey,
We're the
this ain't
last
right,
one.
let's
We're the
stop."
last ones to do the female rights. That's kind of funny though, if you think about it.
No, we're not.
No, because like
No.
that was just a mistake, you know. Like woman equal rights. Oh,
We weren't one of the first
this is
ones. I'm pretty
yikes.
sure we were one of the later ones. A lot of countries had it before us. I think England had it, but one of the first people to have it.
At least we're
could be
not
wrong,
one
though.
of the ones that. At least we're not one of the ones that don't have that. I think that Iran is one of those places where women don't have rights, but I might be misremembering.
Do you think in those countries? I was thinking about it and talking about it earlier. You know how women are like a bit emotionally unstable because of their menstrual cycle and all the hormones that gets plugged into their brain. Do you think in like Iran and those places where they have like reduced rights, they don't actually get as angry and irritated during their like periods?
I'm not sure.
What the fuck are you talking about?
To be honest,
Like,
I
here-
don't understand.
Get this, okay? So women get irritated when they're in their period, right?
Yes.
I think that's something that happens majoritarily in areas where women have rights. Whereas in countries like Iran and Iraq and like all of those like sand dune like living creatures, do you think
Right, you're
do you
definitely
think
not
they're
racist.
like less irritable? Yes.
No, I think they had the
that's the-
same amount of irritation, but they probably are keeping it in
Yeah,
because
like-
of laws.
That's probably fucked up because they get like really bad
Pretty
stomach cramps,
based.
and they can't
Yeah.
do anything for a long time. So that's gonna fuck up worse in the Middle East where it's damn hot plus stomach cramps. That's gonna suck.
Yeah, they're probably all pissed off.
Yeah, but they can't do anything about it because they'll probably get shot.
What do you want them to do about it?
Get shot.
They can't
Lay
do
down?
If they get shot, I'll probably make the pain go away.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
I guess
no.
it would, like,
Oh no, I could see. I already saw into my future of someone clipping this. And they're like, he wants women in the Middle East to get shot. He hates women.
woman.
I think the only one here who's a little misogynistic is probably Nona.
What do you mean? I'm not misogynistic, bro. Like, I'm just realistic.
Yeah, the ones that actually think critically about this is the ones that are usually targeted, saying they're the problem. Usually
yeah,
the people that shout the people who are quick to call somebody a problem are usually the problem themselves. They're too blind to see it.
Well, joke's on you. I am a problem, and I can call problems. Takes one to know one.
Oh, well said.
See, that's 4D thinking.
4D thinking.
See,
That's a lot of thinking.
you're behind. Nowadays, you got to have 5D thinking.
5D thinking.
Next level.
Yeah, you got to play some 5D chess with people.
So, is it true, Nona, that you don't know anything about the submarine incident besides the gay stuff?
I don't know. I know they used like a Logitech controller. It was like millionaires or something. That was about it. That's all I.
You haven't seen any like the
figured out of
memes?
it.
The memes are really.
I
fucked
saw
up,
like
but they're
one Minecraft meme. That's
they're
about it.
fucked up and funny. I mean, if I find any, I'll pop them up on the screen.
Pop them up. Do it.
Because so here's what I got. Oceangate Incorporated is supposed to provide manned submersible services and solutions for industry, research, and exploration. 2019, it was marked as safe, but experts said it used materials that simply didn't work. The people said they went super cheap. They went to stores to buy parts for the craft off the shelf, such as like Camping World, which is like mainly known for doing RV selling. Like that stuff runs a couple $100, but I wouldn't run that on like a really fairly expensive, submarine, because it'll break.
Sounds intelligent.
It's kind of weird because there was because I'm pretty sure this guy was fairly known. He was a Stockton Rush, the 61-year-old Oceangate CEO. I mean, okay. So there was a guy, I believe he was around his 50s or 40s. I kind of missed it. A guy told him the submarine he was making to not make it, and you know what he did? He fired him and sued him because he told him it was literally a death trap.
Nice. That's smart.
See, I even saw like an article, CNN reviews that Oceangate ignored industry standards that would have imposed great scrutiny on the operation of vessels. This company was already known for having red flags for defying much of what we know about submersible design. Like, bro, they were already known for having red flags, and they completely thought this was okay to do. And I think they ran this thing at like $350,000. That's how much it ran. Like, a submarine costing that much, don't you think that'd be fairly cheap making? Like, bro, awful.
Yeah, that is pretty awful.
Did you know anything more about this, Fushi? I still got a couple more notes if you know any more. Did you never see memes or anything on it? I thought it was interesting. Apparently, there's a rumor going around that they said they heard implosion on Sunday and they didn't actually report it until Thursday, which that was kind of weird. I don't know if that rumor's true. Allegedly, this is allegedly.
The stuff I've mostly been hearing about are people trying to shame others in gyms for clout and recording it. It's usually women doing this, where they'll try to record themselves working out, but it's not focused on them. It's focused on some random dude that happens to be working out, minding his own business, and the women are like saying, "Oh, hey, check out this creep I found that's working out near me," and they're getting called out for it.
You spend all your time doing that? That's kind of weird.
No, it's just stuff I've been hearing lately.
Yeah, like the gym.
Yeah, I think Joey Swole, I think is the name of this fitness guy. Apparently, he's been calling out these women who've been doing.
Wait, let me talk
like
about
one
this
of them.
more.
No, we have not.
Are you sure?
I think so, maybe.
No, but if you've been watching like Hero Hey videos, you probably have seen it recently. Because there's quite a few of them starting to pile up.
Oh, careful. You're going to trigger Nona.
I'm triggered today.
We go on his little tirade.
Well, actually,
what, Nona? You ready to go on your Hero Hey rant?
Oh, bro, I'm not going there.
I don't think Fushi has ever heard the Hero Hey rant before.
But that's fine.
Why not? You might as well say it now. Tell us, because you're a longtime viewer. Tell us your criticism of Hero Hey.
Hero Hey is a bit like of a, worthless commentator.
Let me hold on. Let me start at the beginning. So, at first, you actually liked him, right? You actually enjoyed his content at first, right? Like you were actually a fan of him, correct? Was it during his Ruby days, like when he first started?
I wouldn't say I was a fan of him, but I've listened to him for a little while. Problem is he's just someone that really doesn't add much to the conversation. He basically just chooses a topic and then like covers it, and that's like basically it. There's not really anything to, I don't know.
That's
He's
literally the
like
only
an
thing I get
NPC.
out of it.
No, but I mean,
Yeah, that's
I don't
basically
think
all
I
there
don't
is
think
to it.
I don't think there's a set rule on comment. Is that considered commentary YouTuber? Would you call him a commentary YouTuber? That's pretty much what he's doing, right?
He's more like
Yeah,
a
that's-
news YouTuber.
Yeah, it's kind of a news YouTuber,
But,
but
I
like
mean,
the
it's
way
literally
he-
all-
If it's
using
similar to how the
recent
news does
news.
it, I mean, how come you're not complaining about how the news reports, right?
Well, that's because
Because the
everyone
news-
already complains the news sucks already.
yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't
It's
be
just-
talking about the YouTubers if the news was actually good.
I think the thing is like the news
No, but-
are, for example, dishonest because they're trying to slip their like opinion into like story day.
Yeah, but if you're a comment
and on the other
YouTuber or
side-
news, go ahead.
Okay, but like Hero Hey is just like he doesn't add anything. That doesn't feel like that's his purpose, or I don't know. Personally, when I watch like a certain certain YouTuber, whatnot, I kind of expect like his opinion to seep, or I don't know, like at least him to have like a personality or something to entertain me. If
Oh,
not,
so
it's just like
You want
I
him
might
to at
just-
least
just-
elaborate more on his opinion instead of like, I guess, being just there.
Yeah, because I mean, like getting that kind of like neutral information is fairly easy, in my opinion. You can get the like bigger picture.
Yeah, but
really
bro, I don't
easily,
want
but you
I don't
can't
want
really
to
get,
fucking
like-
be on Twitter all day looking for that shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I mean, there's a difference between just oh, okay, so someone posted this, and that's about it. Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
Just
that's,
don't forget to
that's
subscribe.
You know
basically-
the you know what's the funny part? All that stuff you say you hate, those are his popular videos. If you go on popular things, that's all it is these days. You go
I
on his
know, I'm a
popular page,
boomer.
and that's all it is.
Go ahead.
No, because there's been other YouTubers that have done the similar things, but I guess maybe you like them more because they either give more an opinion or they add more background sound, or they talk about other stuff besides that, or give more background info. Is that what you mean? Like instead of just reading it, he can at least give more background info or talk about other things.
It's just very like easy to pump out content. There's not really a lot of editing. The quality is just like low, and he doesn't even like take the time to add anything. It's just like, okay, there's
if
this
it
to happen.
okay, does he make money off of this?
Probably.
Imagine so.
If,
And you have
and
to
is
have
he,
like
I
what,
mean,
1,000.
I mean, if you're telling me if there's an easy way to make money, you wouldn't do it. I'm going based on capitalism. Like if that's an easy way to make money, I'd probably do the same shit too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but like there are easy ways to make money, and like I don't engage
I mean,
in
half
that.
of that work is done for him. It's pretty much what news reporters do, and they get paid
Yeah,
quite
exactly.
a bit.
I mean,
I mean,
there's others.
That's
like,
you could say the same
do
for
it to make money.
commentary people. I mean, but some of them, I guess you could say do more research depending on the topic. But some of them do the same thing. I mean, I don't see much of a difference except this person does Twitter stuff. That's about it. Commentary only do YouTube, but isn't it kind of the same thing? You're reacting to like a first space video.
It depends like what type of commentary you're watching. Yeah, commentary started as like YouTube drama, but with all the restrictions and guidelines they've put up now, it kind of shifted into like real life commentary and social. It's actually kind of, it feels like it's kind of gonna sound stupid, but like philosophy, what it used to be back in like ancient times, where basically you had people just standing in public and doing like basically social commentary. They were observing like how social structure was like functioning and working, and then just making money off of commentating and thinking what they thought about it and ways to improve it or something. I don't know. Like it's an interesting like way to share an opinion on certain topics. I think it's like a good way to brew ideas. I don't know. Joe Biden.
Okay. So I never asked you, Nona, as a fellow, connoisseur of the LGBT alphabet people. What did you think of the difference between doing the flag profile pictures and what Opera GX did? Is there much of a difference, or do you think that's more funny in the meme, or what?
I don't remember what Opera GX did.
They used because I can't say what the picture's called, but it's two, N-words kissing. That's what the image is called.
That is very nice.
You know a picture I'm talking about then?
Yeah, I know. Okay.
That's what they put as their profile picture. Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Talk
both are like
about the
equally as
meme
bad.
image.
I guess if it's just a
Yeah.
At least they're kind of laughing about it. They're like not necessarily ridiculing the but I mean I think at this point it's kind of like blown overboard, and if you like have like a rainbow profile picture, just like appealing to the mass or something. But even then, at this point, I don't know what mass you're appealing to. You're just waving that flag in the face of everyone, and everyone's annoyed, even the people part of the LGBT.
So would you consider
weird.
yourself part of the community, Nona, or not really? What do you mean? Like,
I mean, at some point, like if we go by definition, I'm most definitely part of it, since LGBT includes bi people. So I guess like I'd probably fit in there. Like, is it? I don't feel like I want to identify like with that group, because they're such like a almost perverse movement in all kinds of fronts that just weird.
so
Weird,
what
man.
you're
It's
saying?
just-
So Nona, tell me, if you really want these companies to feel sincere, what kind of picture should they use for their profile and banner? What would you want them to use? Two men, badunking each other, pretty much, like to be serial.
Yeah, exactly. At least like going like for the railing, like appearance or something. No, but for real, like just would be nice to just see companies go back to where they use how they used to be. Just
Don't act different.
yeah, exactly.
Because
Not
when you
trying
do,
to.
whenever they try to appeal to a certain group during a month, they start acting extra different to try to say, "Oh, hey, we see you now." It's like, so you weren't seeing us before? Is the kind of thing it looks like.
Yeah. It's weird. It's just it's so disingenuous, and it's just like I kind of don't
What?
want to buy. Like, there's a lot of companies I don't want to support because they're just their marketing team is basically shifted into a, I don't know, virtue signaling team or something. Every single month is a new like
Well, you're telling me you're
minority
not
to
supporting
ponder.
Disney?
No, sorry.
Disney's
LL.
already in hot water recently.
Yeah, basically.
Fun
They're
fact,
going back
though.
to their old racist
So
roots.
fun fact: those two guys in that picture, they actually got married, I think, last year. So that's good for them, right? Applause for them.
So W.
Wait, what did you say, Fushi, about them going back to their roots? What, like Song of the South kind of roots?
Disney's going back to the kind of their racist roots. There's some kind of show
So Song of the South?
that they put up, kind of, except it's more so towards Mexican people or Latin American.
Whoa, what happened there? Tell us about it.
I don't know all the details, but apparently it's offensive to Spanish speaking people.
Talking about what is it? Ove Primos or something like that?
I think so.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah, and the lady. Did you see her response? I know who you're talking about. Yeah, her response is so fucking weird. It's such a weird.
Is so annoying.
No, but like it's like the way it's just weird. Like, did you see it, Nona? Do you know what we're talking about?
No.
So this trailer dropped for, I think it's supposed to be an animation that it was Disney, right? Disney made it.
It's Disney.
And people didn't like it. Like, for their criticisms at first were saying that the words were pronounced incorrectly. I mean, I don't know. I had like an action. I had like, yeah. And they say it's offensive because almost every type of iteration of like Hispanic culture in a movie, whether it be European culture, Spaniard or South American or Mexico, they always show them in like family houses, and a lot of that doesn't happen to every Hispanic culture. For some reason, they always like to show them with a bunch of families living in one house, which doesn't happen as often as it does like it used to.
Yeah, it's like a
So that's what
stereotype
now it's a
isn't really prevalent.
It's not like it's not a known stereotype anymore. Like, a lot of them are a lot more independent now. But it's a stereotype, whatever. I mean, but they should have realized that they were opening themselves up for criticism. So the animation starts with them like shows a girl. She talks about like her family in Spanish, in a mix of English, talking about her family, and it shows them all living in one house. And I guess the way they pronounced it, I think it was Ove Primos. According to someone I know who's Hispanic, they said they didn't really pronounce it incorrectly. But the weird thing was, the lady, I think was she the main voice actor, like the one who sings the song in the intro? It was her, right?
Yeah, it was a voice actor from what I heard.
Her weird response was saying that people who are getting offended, like, how do you word this? How did she say it? That like, she said it shouldn't matter because the Spanish people,
basically got rid of all the natives or something. Like, she said something where the Spanish language is something that was forced upon them, so they shouldn't really need to worry about the specifics because it's not their native language. It was the Spaniards that changed it, I think is what she said. So she said there wasn't a need to actually focus on the details.
Yeah, it's low. Nona, it's like if
And
you were to
some-
watch. It's like if you were to watch a show and they talk and they pronounce French incorrectly, and then someone would say the same shit like, "Oh, the French people forced it down your throat. You shouldn't care how it's pronounced." Like, that's just fucked up to say.
Yeah, and then she said something about like she's glad that her parents moved to the U.S. instead of being in a shithole country, quote unquote.
No,
reverting to Mexico.
I don't think that part is bad because I get what she's saying. She just
Yeah,
worded it.
but she's
She
trying
worded
to appeal.
no, but she worded it weird though. She could have just said like, "I'm glad my parents left in a bad country." No, but it was also bad timing. I mean, I bet if she said it before this controversy, no one probably would have fucking cared. It was
True,
just bad.
but-
It was just bad timing because
I'm pretty sure that
no, but it is true though. There are countries that are a shithole, and like you can't deny that. Like California is pretty much a shithole. People get mad, but it's pretty much a shithole now. What do you think, Nona? If someone said that about French, would you get kind of annoyed?
I don't know, I don't respect, like in Quebec we don't really have like a lot of I don't know, people are just like really stuck up on French. I don't really like that personally because it's just like it impedes on their ability to progress in life because they're just stuck in their little like shithole.
What do you mean? Like they
Basically.
only learn French, or what do you mean?
Yeah. So basically, we have a lot of laws that like slow down or prevent people from actually learning English. For example, you get to choose like where you wanna your kid to school, right? But like in Quebec, you can't. You cannot. You literally cannot put your French-speaking child into a English-speaking school. If if yourself and your grandparents have never been to an English school, you have to be a fully like not certified, but you have to finish to have finished all of your education inside of the English system to be allowed to put your own kid inside the English school system. If not, then you're just stuck putting him into a French school and having like awful like second language English classes, which are absolutely worthless. People come out of the education system absolutely unable to speak English, and they just develop not a hatred, but they just like they don't want to speak English, and they don't think it matters. And for example, when they encounter it at work, and there's like, for example, a client that comes in and he's speaking English, they'll just get offended. They've been spoken to in English instead of French. They'll be like, "Oh, well, you're in my country. Why don't you speak my fucking language?" Oh.
Even though
God,
a portion of
I thought
a portion of the country English speaking.
No, like
I
the
thought
rest
it was
of Canada
I thought it was
English.
Yeah, I thought it was English and French. Like they teach you both in school. I thought, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you thought, but no. Alas,
On certain parts they don't. You mean? I guess.
No, just in my province, they don't like. Well,
Wait,
they
so
do teach
how-
English, but it's very like rudimentary.
So so is French then your first language then, Nona?
Yeah, it is.
So what got you interested in English? Was it just school or what, TV shows?
Well, I mean, at first, like, during most of my school years, I've been like homeschooled at my parents' place, so blocked a lot of like French channels at first because I was watching cartoons like Teletoon and that kind of stuff. But yeah, they just decided to block it and only let me watch cartoons in English. So that's where I guess it started. And I mean, I guess they bought me a couple of books of English learning and stuff. But I basically learned my English through like watching cartoons and speaking to people online when I finally was able to get access to the internet. So and then afterwards I was able to go into public school and discover how awful the education system was. Basically, like, I'm not even kidding. When I got in there and to my first like English class, I looked at everyone and their like skill level because you're all like forced to speak like English in the class and stuff. But it's just so ridiculous. So like in every class you had like at most maybe like 2 people that were like fluent or like half decent in English where they could just speak. It wasn't even like a matter of like being able to like write it grammatically correct or anything. It was just like speaking, being able to fluently like have a conversation with one another without always being like confused or like saying French words all the time. It's like two people, and the rest were just like completely helpless. Even the teacher most of the time was just unable to even have like a decent level of English. So it was just a mess. They don't really care about teaching it since there's like a bunch of laws that are anti-English speakers, I guess. We're just stuck in like a shithole.
So where you went, it wasn't a good area to learn English then, is what you're saying.
No, I don't like in my province there's just not, they have like strict curriculums to follow, and English is like has an extremely like limited amount of like time allotted to it, plus all the requirements. For example, like at the end of like high school, normally you're in French, you should be able to write like essays of I'd say like 350 words, I think. And in English, you'd only have to write like something like 150, or like almost half of it, and it didn't really matter. You could have like awful grades, and most of the grade was like participation and you were able to speak in class or whatever. Like it was just a mess. It was absolutely.
That sounds
a
like
mess.
it forces you to stay in the province since the rest of Canada speaks English.
Indeed, exactly. Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why I don't really like speaking French, because it's just such a like disabling thing. Like a lot of people are just stuck like not being able to speak English, and I can't like imagine the amount of like opportunities they've missed because of it. They're just stuck in the province, and if like anything goes wrong or if they want to move out or whatever, there's not much place where they're going to speak French. I guess you can go to France or maybe Africa, I guess. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, don't they have like tight control onto some African countries' currencies too? France, I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. It's something about like they provide backing for it, so they technically have indirect control of these African countries because their money is tied to them.
It's like still keep their colonies, you know.
Yep. Yeah, they're air quote independent, but they rely on French currency. So technically, they're under control, just behind, like between the lines, kind of.
Yeah.
So,
behind the curtains.
What kind of cartoons? What English cartoons did you watch?
Sure. Good question. So,
you don't remember?
There was like there was like Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb.
Was Recess.
Yeah, you guys are younger than me. I fucking forgot. I keep forgetting that. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, I guess there was Bugs Bunny, like, and all those like Looney Tunes.
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, there was like this thing called like Teletoon like Retro or some shit or something. It was like old shows, like back to back to back, like.
Oh, in English.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like.
I always wonder this because since I'm not fluent in a second language, I only know a little bit. It's not enough, for me to ask for directions. But how did that work? Did it sound like a gibberish for you at first, or how did that process? I'm curious about that.
What do you mean?
Like when you heard the words in English, did they sound like anything to you, or could you make out it? You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
I think yeah. First, it's like so far in my memory though, but like I'd say a more recent feeling I've had was probably with like Japanese when I started to get into anime. I think at first, it's just really gibberish and you can't really make out anything out of it. You're just confused. You're like, what is this? You can't even like follow the pace of the sentence or understand like even the sounds depending on I guess it depends on the language, but like for example, I think of like Arabic. I still can't figure like what the actual fucking sounds those people make. When they speak, they sound
Chinese.
Wait, what language?
What, me?
Chinese, like
Chinese.
Mandarin?
I think so. The one that they use for their animations.
Mandarin, and then like
some of their like pronunciation for certain like parts of their words so they sound so similar, but they're different, and it just sounds the same to me at the moment.
Yeah, no, totally. like after a few hours, a few hundred hours of you listening, you eventually get like decent at discerning the different like noises and stuff,
Yeah.
sounds, I guess, and then like, yeah, it improves over time. It's just a question of getting used to it. Pretty crazy the amount of noise we can make with our voice and stuff.
So it seems like there's a very active movement of, LGBT in Canada. What do you think about? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't really.
Do you go
watch
to their
that.
parades or anything at all?
Well, actually, okay, I thought about going to like a Proud meetup, like in my city or whatever, like at the start of this month. Like,
You should do that and like record it, like talk, and you should upload it. That'd be pretty interesting. I've never seen one, and I always thought about it.
Yeah, I was just curious. I was like, what kind of people would I meet? Because like in my city, I have a hard time like picturing people like of my age being like there's like rarely even people my age in the area. Like I have difficulty picturing people of my age like being into LGBT stuff, and I'd be curious to see if they're like a bit more conservative, since in my area like a lot of people are more like conservative. We're like in more of a rural area than urban. Oh, like yeah, I was kind of curious, but ended up like never going. Sadly, I should. I think they do it like every month or something. So yeah, I'll go see it.
Every
It's, like,
month?
maybe. Yeah, they do like a meetup every month, and they
What the
do
fuck?
stuff like spaghetti suppers or like
That seems like
5-7s.
Excessive.
yeah. Well, okay, you said it. I mean, it's just
I mean, I was saying what you were thinking.
oh, okay. So Nona, you're
Yeah.
more of a. I mean, I can use you as a shield. That's the only reason why I keep asking you. Okay, so do you think Pride Month should stick more to like a day instead of like a whole month? Because do you think that makes it less? Do you think it makes it more special if it's one day instead of a whole month?
I think it's really insulting that we have like a single day in the whole year to celebrate our fallen soldiers, that we have a whole ass month people with like deviant sexual orientation, I guess.
Oh yeah, you were right. That's what people. I'm assuming Canada has its own type of Memorial Day, right? Like you guys have the same.
Yeah,
thing?
I think ours is like in 11th of November or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm not too sure. But
So
yeah, Remembrance Day.
I know that I've heard YouTubers talk about that. They made an argument saying that. Think about it this way: like, do you think someone dying for your freedom, or people dying in your country, or serving the military? Do you think that's lower priority than someone saying, I pretty much, all I do is suck dick? That's literally the simplest way to explain it. You're saying, I suck in dick is higher priority than the veterans, right? That's pretty much what they're saying, don't you think?
Basically, I think that's basically what they're saying, which is kind of stupid.
I don't. All I know is one. Okay, there's a whole bag of worms. There's a lot of things wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys might know better than me. Is there an actual? You know how the LGBT, they say it's a movement, right? Is there an actual organization, like leaders, secretaries, positions, elections?
Not that I'm aware of.
Like, how can they really call it because it just sounds like a hangout session, right? Then where do they get off? Where do they get off trying to act like they have like this big political movement? Then it doesn't. If it's not really organized, couldn't any Tom, Dick, and Harry just be like, "Hey, I'm part of the LGBT, blah 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 blah," right?
People do that. People
Yeah,
do
exactly.
That.
Yeah, isn't that seems like that's a huge problem, right?
Yeah, they also do it with the Black Lives Matter group too.
Every
big group that has traction, they have people that aren't really part of it that say they are.
I mean,
and they go to extremes.
You do know those movement people, Black Lives Matters. They've been known for fucking people over. Haven't you noticed? Whenever they bought mansions for themselves and their family, and they did nothing with the funding.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you hear they're like couple $1 million in the red? And it's like, they got all this funding. Where the fuck did it go?
Forgot what city it was that got destroyed during the riots, but they've never recovered since.
Yeah, like Minneapolis or something.
in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I liked what the Asian people did. Did you notice that during the riots? That was cool.
What,
They were
I never noticed.
the Asian people, because that's pretty much like their livelihood. They stayed at the stores with guns in their hands. Some of them even had snipers on rooftops, telling them if they come any closer, they would shoot them in the head.
You mean Koreans?
That's because
I said Asian
they've
because I
already
wasn't
been
sure.
attacked.
That's why I said Asian.
They've had that happen in the past before. I wouldn't doubt that they've
No,
done it.
I mean, I don't know.
We're
If you
talking
think about it, if you put
livelihoods in state.
yeah, if you put your whole livelihood into, let's say, a company, and someone just comes in there, they're gonna try to tear it down. I mean, Fushi and Nona, wouldn't you kind of retaliate the same way? Like, dude, I spent all this money on it, and you're just gonna fucking destroy it all?
Oh yeah, if you're gonna destroy the entire thing, my whole life's built around I'm taking you down with me.
Yeah, probably.
It's the same. It's the same.
Understandable.
I mean, it's the same thing as like if someone were to break in your house, try to steal your stuff. Like, bro, I worked hard to buy all this shit. Like, you ain't taking.
The only thing that you're gonna be leaving with is your life, if that.
Basically, and even that.
Did you see these videos I showed you, dude? There's people that are like dancing in like parks naked as part of a movement, and I'm pretty sure those are public parks.
Oh,
What is it now?
It's the one I showed you, boy. This YouTuber named Brittany Venti. She said put them on a fucking list and be done with it. She's sick of this scene every June. And there's a bunch of like, they look like a bunch of girls who are like 3s and 4s, dude. Like dancing. I think it's either a public park or a fountain. And they're all like, a lot of them are getting like either naked or showing off their tits. Some of them are just ugly dudes with women tits and a surgery. And I'm pretty sure if it's a public area, it's like, bro, like this is why no one takes this shit seriously, because you guys don't have any fucking decency. Like that's why everyone thinks LGBT people are gross.
I think to a certain degree they kind of are, man. It's kind of the thing we need to realize at this point. It's to realize that the majority are like absolutely unhinged, or I guess I don't know. Is it like the loud minority? I think there's been a lot of perversion in like LGBT, and there's some people that aren't like happy with it. But the problem is they're not very vocal, and they don't like go out and protest naked in like fountains about it, so they don't get as much views as like. Did
you see that article I shared of these trans people that were at a drag party with 4 dead kids, or 4 kids, not dead kids, sorry, 4 kids were found at a drag party with a dead trans woman, drugs, and sex toys?
That sounds very normal and not worrying at all.
That sounds like a regular party.
Yeah, it's fuck you, Bushy. It's just
it's not a party.
You know what's the worst part in this article? They literally had, I think they had a person say that this person who appeared to be a woman, like, no, dude, it's literally a guy with a fucking, like, drag on. It's pretty much like a drag queen. Yeah, you might not like that term, but that's literally what it fucking is, dude. And I think some of these
dragons.
Fucking shut up. You know what's the worst part, dude? Is you don't hear anyone fucking speaking out about this, and then they act like this shit doesn't happen. They ignore it. It's really annoying. They literally
make up like stories about getting bullied.
They literally act like this doesn't exist, and it's a huge problem. Like, people probably would like it better if these people were very vocal and talked about it.
I think the problem is just that like there's a lot of people in the LGBT, like I think it might have started maybe not, okay, but like you know, when there was like the pizza cheese appreciators that started joining the LGBTQ, like they were calling themselves like maps or whatever. It was really fucking weird, but like I think at a certain point they just kind of,
you know, they're still trying to join.
Yeah, I know, but I mean that's pretty much what's like, you know
what those are. You know what those are, Fushi? What maps are?
I think I've heard of it, but I didn't really pay attention too much about it.
So MAPS stands for minor attracted person. It's pedophiles. I mean, there's different types of pedophiles. You know, pedophile, pedophile. Anyways, they want to say that they want to say their attraction to underage kids is a sexual orientation, not a mental disorder, and they're trying to join the LGBT movement so they could get, you know, sanctuary, as they would say back in the day.
Probably.
Yeah, there's no
It's-
sanctuary for that.
It's just weird because and the worst part is like you have people on Twitter like really advocating for it. They're probably only advocating on Twitter because, you know, if they try to do it in real life, they probably get square punched in the fucking jaw.
Yeah,
If I heard someone
basically.
say that, I'd probably punch him in the face. Like, you fucking think this is okay? Like, what the fuck? You got
it's
you got like these people that held these kids hostage. People knew about it, and you don't have LGBT screaming about it. Those 4 dead people that had kids in their basement with drugs and sex toys. You don't hear people talking about that. You had that trans woman that supported Dave Chappelle. She was literally bullied into suicide. No one fucking cares, apparently, in the LGBT community. They literally bullied her into suicide. No one's talking about that. Like, what the fuck?
So that doesn't make the movement look good, but like
It would make them look
know.
better if they literally pointed it out. One time is enough for them to say something. Because there's people who try to say, like, oh, it doesn't happen as often as it should. It shouldn't happen at all. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, you should talk about it. Like, Jesus, dude.
it's just like the school shooter, like that was trans, but then the DOJ just like decided not to release her memento.
Oh,
Because of,
I heard
like-
about that. What's the background on that? I only heard a little bit of it. What's the background on that shit?
Also, basically, it's just like a kid that was on HRT, and then
Mhm.
like a bunch of social medias where he said stuff. It kept saying shit like, "Oh, I'm gonna go shoot up this school. Oh, this very specific school. Yeah, they just like they hate LGBTQ and shit. I fucking will kill them. I'm gonna fucking kill." And then like he does it, and you're just like, okay. And apparently, like there was a memento in there, but like the DOJ just decided to not declassify that. It just
So no one knows what it is then at the moment.
yeah, basically, but from like all of her like social medias and stuff, it's pretty obvious what kind of memento it is. But they just don't wanna. Oh, they have an agenda. They wanna like I don't know, supporting those people. And like if you had that kind of story pop out, it wouldn't like exactly paint the best picture. I guess like child grooming and stuff is like.
Oh shit!
Is
You know what you were?
tolerable. I don't
You know what
get
you
it.
reminded me of? Did you hear about that lady? She got killed, I think, by a black guy, and her friends of this dead person said they didn't want the black guy to go to jail because he might have a bad sentence. Like, oh my god, dude! I've never been so pissed off in my life. Did you hear about that, Fushi? That's what you reminded me
Nope.
of. You never. Oh, did you hear about that? No, fucking. No.
Oh no, sounds
I'm
great.
pretty
though.
sure.
Sounds
I'm pretty
very-
sure. Yeah, such great friends they are. I'm pretty sure she was part of that movement. I'll probably have to put like the tweets or what. I don't know. You just remind me of that. It's awful. Like her friends, they don't want like. Would you think that you would have the shittiest friends ever? You literally fucking die, and they'd say, "Oh, they don't want this guy to go to prison because he'll have a bad sentence and a hard life." Like. What would you think of that? Nona, Fushi, what do you think of that?
Not sure.
I think it's sad that they shelved the electric chair. To be honest,
Oh, so
people just deserve some, kind of.
Some people, I believe, should deserve cruel and unusual punishment.
So-
I think at some degree, there's like no way of like bringing back some people, and there's no point in wasting like hundreds and thousands of dollars
yeah, like pedophiles.
on them, on like internalizing them when you could just like pay like what $10 to just shock them till they piss themselves and shit themselves on the chair, like, and then you put that on like on the news media. Like that's awesome, that's epic, that's like a warning sign of like, honey, there's some shit that you should not do or else this awaits you. And then you just see the guy like fucking cooking there on the chair. That's like, it's good entertainment value.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if
People
this
want to
happened.
see barbecues on TV. Our
Exactly.
barbecues.
So Nona, I don't know if any laws like this passed in Canada, but in Oregon, the politicians there passed a law that if you have enough, I believe it was cocaine. If you had enough for individual use, you wouldn't get arrested for it. And obviously, the drug crime skyrocketed. Funny enough.
Yeah, weird.
So Oregon has become a total shithole now because I'm pretty sure it was meth and another drug, and
right.
people were pretty. They use that as an excuse, like, see, when we made it legal, the crime rate's going down. Not realizing you making it legal actually made it worse because they're not counting that towards their statistic. It's pretty much a political move. For them to say like, oh, the crime rate went down because we made it legal. Like, no, you making it legal made it actually go up. And there's people there's
going on.
Yeah, there's a guy that's literally selling it, and he can't get arrested because he's selling it in like individual uses, so it's not illegal, but he still makes money off of it. Like, what the fuck? Same shit that's going on in California, dude. There's like a fucking crazy gang, like one of the most dangerous gangs in the world that originated in South America. You probably know what game I'm talking about. I don't really want to say their names just in case, but because they defunded the police in California, they've literally taken over a lot of places in California. They literally gave them more power to them in California. I could be wrong. It could be in New York, but either state, it's like, bro, like, what the fuck?
That's weird.
I don't know if anything like that has happened in Canada where they literally, like, or no, it was New York. I think that like they had people. It was New York or California. I can't remember. Maybe Fushi can remind me because he's in the U.S. That if someone went to jail, they could get out the same day for the crime. I think it was California, right? Because they just kept stealing stuff from the stores, so stores were leaving California.
I think that was it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because they would just steal all the stuff, put it in the basket. If they go to jail, they literally got released the same day. Like, can you believe that, Nona? That's literally a thing that happens in California.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of it. It's pretty
Meanwhile,
disappointing.
in Texas, you'll just get shot.
Yeah, basically.
Like someone could break into your house. You call the police. They get arrested. They get out the same day. Now that asshole knows where you live. He'll just come back again because he knows he won't go to jail.
So that's why you need to shoot the fucker the moment he enters your house.
Yeah, but you forget it's California. You get charged.
True.
You get charged if you kill someone. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, well then you need to, like, I don't know, you need to booby trap your doors.
The
That's actually a law too. There's a law that prevents you from doing that.
Getting outplayed.
Yep.
So
the one that's lenient on that is Texas with I think defend your castle laws is what it is.
Isn't it stand your ground?
No, it's like some kind of protect your castle law or something.
Yeah, in Canada we have like pretty similar laws. Like if someone like breaks into your house, you basically have to like run away, even if you're like at the second floor and stuff.
Oh, they don't have like they don't have like stand your ground.
No, there's no stand your ground. You have to like cower in fear in a corner to even have like a justification for self-defense.
Luckily, where I am, they have constitutional carry, so that's good. So I don't.
All I'm saying is, if someone breaks and enter, and no one hears about him afterwards,
Well, the way I heard it is that he can't sue you if he's dead.
Exactly.
You just be the judge, jury, next.
If you're gonna use the gun as a last minute resort, let me preface that you have to make sure you're gonna use it. Because if you use it and let's say you miss or you cripple him, there's consequences for that. He could, I don't know, come back and kill you. He could like get a good lawyer to sue you. If you really think your life's in danger, you're better off shooting him in the head.
Better off just mag dumping him.
Well, you probably get in trouble with a mag dump. But if you're a good aim, maybe just one.
Well, I don't know about Canada. That's U.S. Canada might be, all about mag dump.
No, they're probably about that knife crime.
Yeah, no, bro. Basically, everyone.
Yeah, because everyone
over here. It's stupid.
Oh, well, does even what is he? I don't know. Is he still the prime minister? Or did they change him? Justin Trudeau?
Yeah, no, he's still there.
Do you think he has bodyguards with guns, or they just carry knives?
Oh yeah, no, definitely has guns. Yeah.
You don't see the bodyguards coming in with like knife nunchucks. Whoa, come on! You want to mess with the politician? Come on! I just be kind of funny to think about. He has like these ninja bodyguards because he can't have guns.
Yeah, no, for real. If only alas, politicians have guns, but us citizens must not rebel, so we don't.
That kind of seems like that's why you have a quiet. That's like a way to quiet revolutions silently. That's fucking weird.
That's just how to stomp like revolutions. Yeah, basically.
Yep.
De-arm everyone.
Did you? Okay, you reminded me of. You reminded me of that incident with Call of Duty. What did you hear about that? Of the guy that. He didn't say anything. All he saw was this. Let me find the picture real quick.
You mean the Nick?
Yeah, Nick Merckx. You know about that?
Yeah, like the guy that basically just looked at like parents protesting at a school for
Yeah.
hypersexualizing their
Let
like
me.
children.
Yeah, this happened. Okay, you know what's pissed me off more is this person in this tweet. I sent it in the podcast links. This tweet says, "This happened 4 blocks from my Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life." This person, completely missing the whole fucking point of the damn tweet, saying anti-LGBT protesters attack pro-LGBT demonstrators outside of a Glendale CA school board meeting. The school board is voting on recognizing June as Pride Month. So this person completely missed that it's pretty much a protest for the school. Like, how do you look at this tweet and completely it flies over your fucking head? Can you explain that, Nona? I don't fucking understand, dude.
I mean, I think it's just like
Public stupidity, basically.
yeah, like I think that's like voluntary like retardation. I don't know.
Yeah.
All Nick Merckx says, he didn't even say anything controversial. That's the weird thing. All he said was they should leave little children alone. That's the real issue. Now, that's not even a hot take. Don't you think, Fushi? No, that's not even that controversial of an opinion.
It's not really.
That's like mild, right?
It's just
And-
fair. Yeah.
Did you? I screenshotted the person's response. Did you see what they said? They said, "Who is they, and what terrible act is everyone afraid of?" I hope the goal of most of them is to reduce child suicides. This is done through acceptance and removing the stigma of feeling/being different. As a dad, I'm struggling to see the harm. Gay doesn't equal Edo, and that's the worst thing. And he's an actual dad, and he doesn't see what the problem is. Who the fuck let this person give birth to a kid?
Yeah, if only there was like some kind of restriction on who could make kids and who couldn't. Be kind of nice, to be honest.
I like this person's response. They're like, "Go drink your Bud Light, leave my kids alone." Pretty good response.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
for
sure that's
real.
true.
You mean the new gay beer?
Yeah, I remember we talked about that last time. I think they said their sales are still going down, and then I know we talked
Yep.
about that. Oh, did you hear that they had? Okay, this is more of a problem I have. I don't know if Nona's with me on it, since he's with whether he likes it or not. People are gonna associate you with it, which is kind of fucked up, but I mean, it happens. That's the real world. People, the Target. I don't know. I think it was it Canada Target that they were putting all the LGBT stuff in the back instead of the front this time. It was Canada, right?
Was it Canada? I thought it was in the U.S. Did it happen in Canada too?
So
It's like Target is not in
these
Canada
people were getting bomb threats and threats of harm because they were doing that. Like, what? You know what group does that? Terrorist groups. Why would I think this group has any sense of peace if their main resolution is violence, right?
basically.
Well,
But I mean, at a certain point, I think it's just been uninternalized, like madmen that should have had been internalized to just represent the group by being like loud assholes. I don't think like bomb threats are like the baseline of the group, but at the same point, it just highlights how toxic certain individuals in those groups are, I guess.
It's just weird because what makes it worse, it doesn't help that the people in this community, quotation mark, don't speak out on it. So it makes people feel like it's okay,
Yeah, basically.
And then okay. So are you for or against, school boards voting for Pride Month? Would you tell the schools like, no, they shouldn't recognize it? What do you think, Nona? Since you obviously went to school during the time of that.
You went to school?
Going to school. Going to school.
It's
Go to school
I
during
your memory is probably more fresh than mine. I really don't remember the Pride shit that much in my schools. I don't know if you recall it or Fushi.
Yeah, to be honest, there wasn't really any like LGBT school pride stuff.
Nope.
Like,
Were you like
that's the thing?
Were you like it was peaceful? Flowers
Yeah,
and the sun was
basically,
there.
it was just
no one cared.
Basically, I think
thing
it was a
that
better
would-
time. There was like a few gays in the school, but it wasn't anything like
Oh, like big.
noteworthy.
It wasn't
was
a
just
big.
like-
It wasn't a big deal. It's like you're gay, so what? I need to fucking learn.
exactly like there was still like certain like
That's how it should be.
it's unfair treatments. Like for example, gays got to, for example, exercise with girls and stuff. But like
There
it
wasn't
wasn't
that in my
anything. Yeah, in my high school,
That
it
was-
was like
What?
People,
Nah.
like,
Couldn't
decided
someone take
to
advantage of that?
protest. Probably, but like to be honest, it wasn't. I don't know. I haven't seen any like. At least at my school, there wasn't any fake gays trying to take advantage of that. I think there's like big kind of. I think back in the days there was kind of a stigma. There was still a certain stigma surrounding the idea of like presenting yourself as gay. Nowadays, I think I don't know. I guess maybe there's still some people. Maybe I'm just biased, but like I feel like it's way more. We've basically like exterminated or like killed off the stigma by trying to, I don't know, like villainize people that feels a certain stigma towards it, which is just, I don't know, it's weird.
I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's doing much help because you get these articles of, the kids in a fucking sex party and you got like people committing suicide and like them thinking that, doing gender, reaffirm surgery is the cure for suicide because of body dysmorphia, that kind of shit.
That usually seems to be the increasing factor.
Yeah, for real.
As people who can't undo it, now they're stuck like that, and it makes their depression even worse. But yeah, the thing I was against for school was, since I live in the Bible Belt area where everyone's super religious, they kept on talking about possibly bringing religion back to school. I'm like, no, religion has no place in school. Yep.
Yeah, unless it's like
if you're gonna teach religion,
unless it's like history, or if you're taking like seminary.
Yeah, like here's what I say.
But that's
if
personal
you're gonna teach
choice,
religion.
though.
Yeah, they're wanting to teach Christianity. Like, if you want to teach religion, teach all of it. Don't just limit to one.
Well, they also have to teach all of Christianity.
And
Even there's like a lot of mythology, lores, and like stuff like that. But they usually don't teach all of that because it's a lot.
Yeah, I think the problem is that religion should be like a personal choice. I think it's
Some colleges
certain
do it as an
rules,
elective.
certain cultures and stuff you want to follow, and I think leaving that to a single body to teach is just like kind of wrong, I guess.
Yeah, forcing them to have that as an option is also wrong.
Yeah,
It should be something people choose.
It's already kind of an indoctrinating, like not mindset but belief system. So I mean, if you just like give that to schools, I don't know. It's not really schools are already like
you're saying schools
itself,
run
like,
by the government try to
systems.
indoctrinate you? What? That's crazy.
Yeah, no, for real.
Who would know that?
known?
Who would have known government-funded education system brainwash you? Who would have thought that's crazy?
What is this nonsense you speak of?
They're just here to teach us like everything we need to know.
Yeah, when I went, they had outdated, recording equipment. That's definitely great. I know when I took the thing I remember recently, not recently, sorry. The main thing that sticks in my mind is when I went to drama club, which is pretty much like theater kids. I remember they showed the recording equipment, and it was pretty much stuff from like 10, 15 years ago. It's probably older than that now. Like, Jesus, dude. I just thought that was funny that they had all this equipment, and it was just stuff that was like made from like a decade ago, from probably before I was born when I went there.
The only thing they really care about keeping updated is anything sports related, mostly football. If it's not football, you don't get funding.
Yeah, I think
I
think after I left, they actually cracked down on it, and a lot of the football players couldn't graduate when I left, which I thought was pretty funny.
A lot of the schools here are still that way.
That's sad.
Like the stadium or something, we got like the football field and the stadiums and everything. That was put during like my time there at the high school, and that cost like several $1 million, but we still had to fundraise just to get money to go to somewhere for band.
Yeah, because God forbid your kid, uses a special part of their brain that not the average person does when they learn music, which is similar to learning another language. Yeah, let's not help, fund that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we'd rather see kids lose brain cells but from concussion for our entertainment.
Oh, so in relation, because we're gonna run back a bit. Did you guys see that guy's friend Nick Merckx? He requested for his operator skin to be off Modern Warfare 2 also. I think his name's Tim the Tap Man. I've seen a couple of his clips. He's kind of funny. I don't know if you saw that, Nona.
Yeah, I saw him supporting his friend.
You know what's the weird thing though is that he didn't say what it was. So, and then did you see Dr. Disrespect also responded saying that he's gonna uninstall the game and then he's not gonna play till they bring it back?
Yeah, saw that.
And then I know that when that happened, a lot of people who bought the skin before it was taken off, they started wearing it like in game, which I thought was kind of funny. That was kind of a funny way of doing it. So yeah, there was this I don't know if you saw, there was this YouTuber. I've mentioned him before, the Young Rippa guy or Young. I can't remember his name right now. He's this. So he said that people messaged Nick Merckx privately and said, hey, we support what you're doing, but we can't say it publicly. What do you guys think about that, Fushi? I don't know. What do you think about people who tell you that?
Yes.
Would you say they kind of pussed out, or do you think they should say it publicly instead of being pussies and doing it at DMs, or what do you guys think?
Go public or go broke.
What do you think, Nona?
Go public or go broke.
And the way to go. And then, speaking of LGBT, did you see that Elemental was flopped at the movie box office?
Yes, which was pretty funny.
So it did flop, because I was about to say it looked like a bunch of hot garbage from the trailers at the theater.
It just looked like your typical movie. I think maybe that's why it flopped. Is probably because it was just like a typical romance movie.
It looked it literally looked like a cookie cutter cartoon movie.
Oh, like it could have been like a straight to DVD movie instead of like a big box office. No, like a cookie cutter thing. Like it's just repainted over, but it's the same thing we've seen before 1,000 times. It doesn't really bring anything new to the table except for something visually different. So I don't know if this is true because I didn't watch the film, but the voice actor. So the voice actor Ava Hauser plays Lake, who is Wade's younger sibling and goes by they/them pronouns. I don't believe that's in the movie because that would be. I don't think Disney has the balls to put that in the movie.
No, they've been doing stuff like that lately.
No, but they say that my pronouns are they/them in kids movies. I don't recall any kids movies saying that.
But watch like the recent piece,
The recent movies.
I've seen a lot
trying to appeal to these woke communities.
Well,
they're trying
I get that, but they don't do it in that kind, like in your face kind of way. But they do it like subtly so they can get by the people who normally watch Disney. The only reason why I know about this is because the voice actor said the character was non-binary. Because I have a coworker who saw that movie and he said they never mentioned they/them pronouns. They never say the person's non-binary in that whole film. Like he watched it. He would have, because he said that if that happened, he would have took his kids out of the theater. And then another movie that flopped was the one with our favorite LGBT man, Ezra Miller, the best LGBT representation guy of all time. His movie flopped as well. They spent like 200 million. It was the guy who plays Flash in the movie.
I didn't watch it.
We know. That's why it flopped. That's the point. Is it flopped? The actor's name is Ezra Miller. The guy known for beating the shit out of women on camera, kidnapping an underage girl and getting away with it, just being an overall trans piece of shit. The normal stuff that Americans do. Well, he's American, right?
And then you find out he's Australian.
Like typical Australian shit. I know that so they had a guy playing Batman who was from the 1990s, Michael Keaton, which was a weird choice because I'm pretty sure people who are fans of Michael Keaton as Batman, they're probably either too old to go to the theater or they literally don't fucking care about Flash or this current actor of Flash. Like, well, did they think they were gonna make their money back? They could have gotten more money, but currently they were like down 130 million. They didn't make enough for a profit. Like it flopped bad. That's really bad in the red, don't you guys think? Like if you were making a movie that was 200 million, would you feel that you could make your money back? Like you wouldn't be like do you feel you were confident enough that you could make your money back? You wouldn't like let it flop that badly? No enough, Fushi?
Yeah. Simple answer is one. Don't try to appeal to certain groups. that usually drives away most of your audience.
I think it's just because of the actor and because the writing's bad. I mean, maybe like make a better movie.
Well,
So,
if you keep modern politics out of it,
well, did you watch
would
the
probably
movie?
be-
There wasn't any modern politics. It was just a shitty movie. That's all it was. I seen it. It's just a shit movie. It really was pretty boring. So, how familiar are you guys with comics?
Not really. Not at all.
No, I don't read.
Do
Necessarily.
you ever watched DC animated movies at all, or cartoons maybe?
Some of them, but like not really.
So
Nope.
do you recall a story called Flashpoint Paradox? So unfortunately, the recording got cut off while I was explaining the Flash why it was bad. So I'm just gonna link 2 videos by the YouTuber ItsaGundum, who helped summarize some of the points I made into a faster summary than I did in the initial. Thank you, and now let's return back to the pod. Then moving on, I was gonna ask Nona. Actually, I think it'd be interesting to talk about with this month coming to an end. Nona, why don't you tell us I'm more curious. So, how did you figure out what your coming out story? Why don't you talk about that? I'm actually genuinely curious about it. How did you come into terms that you're a femboy and that you're bisexual? So on and so forth.
So, well, basically, it's a pretty sorry. So get this, okay? So a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, I used to be like really into drugs. I used to do like a lot of them, and it wasn't exactly the most like healthy thing. I was basically getting intoxicated daily, almost like 24/7. It's pretty intense. Ended up selling and doing like all sorts of not very legal things. And like back at that time, I used to play a lot of video games too. But like I was slowly shifting from video games to drug consumption because drug was taking over my life. And my best friend at the time, now boyfriend, basically ended up one night just we had plans to move in together and like start going in to get like a mineral extraction certification or whatever to work as like underground miners. We wanted to we're planning on buying a house together and stuff. We weren't like into like a love relationship or anything. We just at some point decided that we wanted a life partner or of some sort, but didn't really see any like interesting like love relationship floating around us. So we just thought like, hey, like we're best friends. We could like live as roommates and then like work our asses off, buy a house, and then just live together. And then we were thinking of getting like a duplex. I don't know if does that work? It's like kind of a house that's split up in 2, and you have 2 separate houses.
Yeah, duplex.
Yeah. So anyways, we wanted to buy that, but then eventually like it kind of so one night basically he just like broke into tears and told me that like it wasn't like he wasn't recognizing me anymore, and like drug was just taking over my life and shit. And it kind of hit me, and I wanted to I don't know, I ended up like confessing to him that I had feelings for him and that I thought it was like probably a bit more than just like being best friends and stuff that night, and decided that I would like stop drugs and focus on like a relationship and setting my life straight and stuff. And I guess when I became kind of a fanboy, just like kind of got out of drugs and focused on myself, and I just decided to like dress girly. I don't know, but I liked it. It was like nice, and big dubs.
So were you already familiar? I might have misheard. You are actually attracted to girls, or are you mainly or guys?
Yeah, no. I'm totally bisexual. Like I've had like I've had a few girls, like 5 or 6 during like my high school years and stuff. I've tried it like intimately with girls and with my boyfriend. And I guess I have a preference now for guys, probably mainly because they're just like feel like they're more agreeable. Women are very emotional, especially with the feminist movement nowadays. It's just hard to get a girl that will want, like, especially like what I'm looking for is probably something more. Well, anyways, what I was looking for was more of a traditional kind of woman that I would like probably build my own house and then like have kids there and probably would homeschool them and very traditional kind of behavior. But you know, with feminism nowadays, that's just not something they want to partake in. They want to have an OnlyFans. They want to like have a career that gives them a lot of money. They want to have fame. They want, like, so it wasn't really like, I don't know. I had a few like fuck friends, they call it. I never like got interested in entertaining like a more serious relationship with a woman because never really, I guess, connected with that with any of them. It was always just very like basic level stuff. It was never like we were never able to talk about like future endeavor or future like projects. All they wanted to talk about, you know, in terms of future projects were like, oh yeah, we're gonna live together and then we're just gonna have a house and we're gonna make babies, and you know, that the kind of basic cheesy stuff that they always like chew out, whether or not they think the relationship is serious or not, or whether they're even able to invest themselves in relation. So yeah, it ended up like, I guess, having a preference for guys, but
So,
on an unserious note, basically drugs leads you to lifelong partners. In a serious note, it's a good thing you got out of that stuff.
I don't know if they really lead you. Maybe I'd say probably like it's
you heard it here, folks. Nona advocates for
moments.
drug use.
Oh,
Yeah, but no, maybe in the direst moments, maybe that's when you see the people you care about the most and ones that care the most about you.
So so it wasn't until you met actually I don't know his name. Or do you have a name we could call him, so you don't, if you don't want to dox him?
Yeah, Rainbow. He's in
so you weren't I guess you would say romantically attracted or sexually attracted to a guy until you met Rainbow then, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess.
why does that sound like a brony name?
What the fuck up, Fushi?
I don't know. Is it?
It sounds like a brony type of name,
Yeah,
Rainbow.
Would, yeah, with like Rainbow
Ask
Dash
him.
and stuff.
Ask him. He's right in the room next to you. Ask him if he's a brony right now.
It's not. I know he's
We're
not.
about to learn new things.
Is he not in the room with you? I thought he was in the room with you.
No, not right now.
Who's in the room with you? Who's typing that keyboard?
That's me, probably.
Fushi.
I'm gaming right now.
Oh man, that's
No,
very
dubs.
sad but heartfelt story, because at least you got out of it. Because some people usually take years or never get out of it. I mean, if you've seen those unfortunate videos that are shown online of meth users, drug users.
Yeah. No.
So,
for real.
I this might be a little TMI. I mean, feel free to tell me if you're not okay with this question. I heard from someone else I knew that had a similar problem, that even if you go like, let's say, sober or years sober, like that urge never goes away. Is that correct?
I mean, it depends on the substance. I think there are some substances that are there's like point of no return where you try them once and there's just no going back. I think
Like it's sorry, go.
So like there's like meth and like what's the other one, like crack. That shit like skyrockets your dopamine levels and serotonin to like such high levels that like after your like first try, it's just because, like, for example, okay, I don't remember the units that was measured, but like for meth, for example, just to give you an idea of how stupid that is. For example, okay, if you have like an extremely satisfying like sexual relationship, okay, your dopamine levels will go up high, will go somewhere like to maybe like 200 units of whatever. I don't know. But meth shoots it up to 2,000. It's not normal. That's literally 10 times the amount that extremely satisfying sex offers you. Once you try this, there's no going back. You have tasted this level.
I remember
of, like,
hearing about that.
I
actually remember that. People were telling me that when I was in high school. They told me that if you get high, don't have sex while you're high, because then you're never gonna want to do without it. That's what I was told. I remember people around me, they were telling me about that. If I get high, don't do that.
Yeah,
crazy.
I don't know about that. I think
That was
it
more
depends.
associated. That was more associated with ecstasy, though, at the time when I went.
I don't know if
Yeah,
I don't know.
A very
I've
unusual
had my
thing.
experiences and stuff, and I don't know. I haven't personally really lost the taste to like.
but do you understand the question I meant when I talk about the urge? I didn't know if that's.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think for some drugs, yeah.
I can
think it
already
takes
tell
a
you
while.
weed and shrooms aren't one of those because I've tried them both one time. I've never really had.
I think that's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
of a
Interest in
mentality
trying it
thing
again?
because there's some people that have you noticed that there's some people
That
like
are open to being stuck into something
No.
just to get their mind off things.
like there's people that you know that weed's not addictive, but this particular person is using it as an addictive substance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know a
think
few
the
like
thing,
that.
It might. I
problem-
think
the
it's.
trap.
Or go ahead.
Yeah, the trap with weed is that like if you take it like once in a while, it's not addictive. Problem is when you take it like continuously. There's
Like a
like
smoker.
very yeah, exactly. There's a really like toxic effect that it has on your brain. Like it's a bit similar to like antidepressants. Maybe you haven't taken them, but like I've tried both antidepressants and weed, and it's basically like you give off like basically a very similar effect that you end up like not really caring about anything that happens to you or anything that happens around you. You get really desensitized to everything, but that really feeds into like the addiction kind of problem because at a certain point, like, when you consume too much and that like that mental state like kind of kicks in like at like basically a permanent level, you're so like desensitized, you're so like unbothered by the fact you're addicted to the substance and stuff that you can't really stop, because the moment you stop, your dopamine crashes and then everything feels like it's the end of the world. Like every single little thing that goes bad or unexpected in your day, you're just gonna start throwing a fit about it, and then instantly your solution is very simple: take more drugs. Just go back to like your initial problem, because you get desensitized. You know that it's an easy fix for like any problem. You're angry, just smoke some weed. Oh, you're feeling a little depressed, smoke some more weed. Oh, someone's died, smoke weed. No one cares. Like someone's being mean on the internet, smoke weed. Anything, just smoke weed. It solves everything. And like at that point, you're just fucked, because like stopping is not going to be something you want to consider, because you find like all of those excuses, and then you're trying to justify all of your consumption, and it's just a tool, it's just a way to cope with my problems and with my pain and stuff. Like what do you want me to do? Like deal with my emotions like a mature person would? Ugh. Much rather take some drugs. It's really stupid. It's such a sick, like, vicious loop. People are stuck in it, and I don't even think they realize they are.
Yeah, have you
It's
seen
kinda
those
bad.
people that how mad they get when people say stoned user? When people criticize weed users, they get really angry for people who are stoners. It's kind of odd, right? On Twitter,
Yeah.
you see anything bad about weed, for some reason they act the opposite as someone on weed. It's kind of weird, right? They get angry.
Yeah, because I think it's kind of painful to have to admit that your fix-all solution is actually an addiction
Like,
that you have.
Obviously, not everyone who smokes weed gets addicted to it, but people with addictive personalities sometimes smoke weed. You know?
Yeah,
It's kinda
no,
that- It's
definitely.
not kind of that thing. It's not for everyone. Some people probably use it as an excuse, so on and so forth. Okay, on another topic, Fushi, why don't you tell us your coming out story?
Sure.
Tell us,
What?
Fushi, how did you know?
How did you know?
I'm
How
sorry.
did I know what?
Fushi, how did you know you were straight?
Well, I walked into a changing room at a fitness place for my 22nd birthday. Saw a old guy drying his balls with an air dryer, and I said, "Fuck that."
I'm definitely straight.
Yeah,
Oh, man, that's good.
Awesome.
yeah, that's a sight I want to burn out of my eyes.
You can't now, can you?
Nope.
Oh,
Immediately
man.
went to the family changing room, which is basically that small room for like
Does that mean you
have a kid.
can't? Does that mean you can't look at hentai the same way because you're like, I can't see these ugly bastards?
Yeah, that pretty much is what I saw a real version of.
It's rough.
Oh man, that is funny. You gotta stick to the. You gotta stick to the normal stuff. You know, you gotta stick to the futanaris. Come on, Fushi. You gotta stick to normal stuff.
For real, the normal stuff.
Man, that's good.
That Nona.
Oh man, that's good. It's good shit. Oh, Nona. I mean, on a quick note, I don't know how much time Fushi has left. There's actually, well, I don't know if you particularly like VTubers or not, but there are femboy VTubers, and there's some femboy users like that one I told you, Femios, that did that weird debate. I don't know if you looked at his videos. I haven't had a chance to browse his videos, but I mean, the titles are kind of weird. The one thing I don't like is the HRT debating, but I mean, other than that, he seems alright. I mean, I
think HRT should just be like, you know, monitored. It's not something you should just give to anyone.
His thing, I know that his excuse was the reason why I mean, there's no point getting into it. If you're not for HRT for people who are younger than 18, I mean, there's no point talking about it. If you're not for it, you're not for it. So that's pretty much his thing. Is he wants you to start on it so that if you choose a transition, you can do it, but if you choose not to, you can just take it off. But I'm pretty sure it has permanent effects. So
yeah, it does, which is stupid. It's like that's kind of the annoying part of it. Like I wouldn't mind. Okay, look, I'm not against the idea of like allowing people to make a decision or something like that, and the idea of like HRT allowing like, you know, younger people to wait at a more mature age to like make a sound decision sounds awesome on paper. Problem is we don't have the technology for it, and we're absolutely fucking those childs up by like, I don't know, like the simple fact that you even have to like intrude into their life and be like, oh, okay, take this drug that will like inhibit your puberty and just stall it until you're able to make a sound decision. Like at that age, I was just worrying about, I don't know, school. I was stressed. I had other shit to worry about. I had my parents to deal with. I had like lots of shit, and then I can't imagine how difficult it must be to get thrown out in the world and be like, oh yeah, you know what? Also, probably you might, just maybe, who knows, not be your proper gender. Do you feel that maybe you're like something else on the inside and you like want to choose on that? Oh, but like if you want to, like, if you're unsure right now, we'll give you drugs and let you wait till like a certain age, and then we'll like help you choose. It just feels wrong. It just feels weird. It's not something you should have been put into like a kid's head. I don't know, it's just weird.
Gotcha. Well, I'm assuming Fushi's gonna head off, and I know that it's a late for you, Nona. So let's end it with this. If you guys could give some genuine advice to, let's say, people in your position, or even the LGBT people, or even someone who might be going through let's start with Fushi. What genuine advice could you give to someone either that's in the community or not in the community? What's genuine advice you think you would give them, and then we can go with Nona after that. You go ahead first, Fushi.
Don't use Twitter as a source of finding role models. You'll be very disappointed.
How about you, Nona? I mean, it could be either long or quick. I mean, pretty much just genuine advice if you think of people, since you know more knowledge than both of us, pretty much.
I think much less porn. It's a pretty good advice. I think there's a lot of version of the LGBTQ movement. Yeah, basically. A lot of people are addicted to it, and I think one of the reasons how like LGBT has grown this much quickly is the readily aspect of porn. It's just all over the place, and with LGBT and like stuff like femboys and stuff, it's just we're blurring the line of heterosexuality, because you know, like before, like, you'd have gays, you have drag queens, and that was it. There wasn't like any kind of, anyways, but maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe
don't forget about the lesbians, Nona.
No, I know, but I mean in terms of like, I'm talking in terms of guys, but there wasn't any kind of concept of like guys seeking to be as feminine as possible, to the point where straight guys are almost like, oh yeah, you know, like I could almost tap that. Especially like in a climate where women are getting less and less feminine, and then those guys just trying to be feminine. It's just weird. It's just we're blurring the line, and I feel that like porn is contributing a lot to it, and it's not very healthy.
On an unrelated note, we're all gonna watch some special videos together ending this podcast. It's totally not gonna be a circle jerk with me and with Nona and Fushi, alright? Don't think deep into it. We're just gonna watch some, special videos. Homemade videos specifically. You excited, Fushi?
Yeah, got the cup ready. Do you got the winner?
So
Oh, yeah.
I would say this was decent. We actually, I don't know if you've noticed, we've actually gotten better at these, not talkie points, but there's like less pauses and we're actually more smooth. I think we actually stayed, I think there wasn't many topic divides like in the first episode. Oh god, dude, there were so many different topics on there. That was really bad. It seems like we've gotten smoother. What do you guys think?
So, I guess.
I mean, we don't have anyone.
Still has a lot of
Yeah.
I mean, this is barely the 4th episode. Later on, we can, you could just, I guess, if you really are worried about that, you could always either increase your vocabulary or watch what you say, or maybe have coherent thoughts. Anyways,
Coherent thoughts. Couldn't be me.
I mean, you can just make it funny, I guess. Now we have the outro coming in. Let's say bye to the folks coming in. Thanks for listening. If you're still there, it's probably a bunch of older people, so they probably are like, yeah, I agree with you. Fuck those people. Fuck them. So on and so forth.
Fuck them. Exactly. Fuck fanboys.
Yes, fuck femboys. Fuck the LGBT. Fuck Black Lives Matter. How do you guys feel?
Go Brandon.
All right, let's end it with the classic meme, right? Fuji, let's say it. Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Bo driving.
All about Sleepy Joe. All right. Bye, folks. Bye-bye. How you that one?